In Toronto, even the simplest renovation can become a full-time job unless you know how to plan for it. Whether it's a downtown condo or an older house, the difference between a smart reno and a stressful one is knowing what to expect and how to get ahead of it. So let's talk about timelines, costs, what to watch for, and how to avoid mistakes I see people make every year. So let's start with how long things actually take, because in Toronto, that's often the biggest surprise. If you are renovating a condo, a full gut job usually takes between 8 to 12 weeks of construction time, but that doesn't include design, material orders, board approvals, or city permits. When you factor that in, you are looking at 3 to 4 months. A kitchen-only renovation typically takes between 4 to 8 weeks, longer if you are doing custom cabinets or custom work in general. Bathroom only, if everything is in stock and planned in advance, maybe 2 to 4 weeks. Now let's talk houses. A full gut renovation of an old Toronto home can take between 12 to 18 months from start to finish, especially if you are doing structural changes or additions. Watch my upcoming video about my clients' recent experience. They will be sharing their insights, wins, and mistakes from start to finish. Even a main floor kitchen and living space update can take 3 to 5 months of solid work. And it's not just about the trades showing up. In houses, especially the older ones, surprises can appear behind every wall. Old wiring, asbestos, foundation shifts. You discover things you didn't budget for. And for both houses and condos, you need to factor in delays for city permits, contractor availability, and material orders. Even just getting on a good contractor schedule can take 2 to 3 months in peak season. The biggest mistake I see people make is setting unrealistic expectations. If you assume that your timeline will be linear and smooth, you are setting yourself up for stress. Next, cost. If you're buying a place thinking we will fix it for $50,000, let's run some numbers together. In condos, a light cosmetic refresh, floors, paint, new lights start around $100 per square foot. Want to do the kitchen, bathroom, floors, millwork? Now you're looking at $150 to $200 per square foot, depending on the finishes and contractor charges. And if it's a luxury custom cabinetry, high-end stone, premium lighting, it can be more. House renovations cost more. A full gut reno typically runs between $200 to $300 per square foot, depending on the quality. So if you are working with 2,000 square feet home and redoing it top to bottom, that's about $400,000 plus, possibly much more. Let's look at specific project averages in 2025. Kitchens, $30,000 to $80,000. Bathrooms, $15,000 to $40,000. Flooring, $3 to $8 per square foot for laminate or engineering hardwood. Painting, between $3 and $8 per square foot, professionally done. Structural wall removal, between $8,000 and $15,000 depending on complexity. So let's talk about what makes a true fixer-upper. Here are key distinctions I always try to explain to my clients. There is a big difference between a home that is dated and the one that's a true fixer-upper. An old kitchen with orange countertops, that's cosmetic. A home with knob and tube wiring, ancient plumbing, sagging roofline, or water in the basement, that's a fixer-upper, and the numbers change completely. Those unsexy renos, electrical upgrades, new insulation, waterproofing, mold remediation, are not visible when you sell, but they cost real money. If you're looking at the house built before 1980 and nobody's touched it, budget accordingly and get professional inspection before you commit, not after. So let's talk about solutions, because this doesn't have to be overwhelming. If you want your renovation to run smoothly, here is what actually works. Plan early and thoroughly. Design first, choose your materials early, submit permits and condo approvals before demolition begins. The best timelines come from projects that were 80% planned before anyone started demolition. Book your team early. Good contractors are busy. Start interviewing and getting quotes at least 3 months in advance. Ask if they worked in similar homes or buildings. Check their insurances. Ask for references. Expect the unexpected. No matter how detailed your budget is, add 15 to 20% for contingency. It's not a failure of planning, it's just the reality of renovating older homes and condos in this city. Understand condo board rules. Some buildings restrict renovation hours, some require specific insurance levels. Some will delay your start for weeks if you miss a piece of paperwork. Know the rules before you finalize your reno plans. Another point that I would like to make is please avoid living through chaos if you can. Yes, it saves money to stay during construction, but it slows things down. If your contractor has to work around you, progress is always slower. If you can move out, even temporarily, it often saves time and money in the long run. So get everything in writing. It's very important. Your scope of work, timeline, payment structure, and warranty should be all in a written contract. No handshake deals. Clarity upfront avoids tension later. Most of the clients who reach out to me are not afraid of renovations. They are smart, capable, and they know the value of getting a property in the right location and making it their own. But they don't want to gamble. They want to know what to expect before they buy. They want someone who's been through the process, who knows what's happening between the walls of an old home or an old condo, and who can tell them when something is worth it and when to walk away. So they watch my videos, they read my blog, and when the time is right, they reach out because they want a real plan, not a guesswork. I work with local families and those that are relocating to Toronto, professionals looking to upsize, and buyers who want that perfect house or condo, even if it needs a little work. If you are one of them and you want the renovation to feel like an opportunity, not a risk, I am here to help you make the right move. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next videos.